A few months back, one of my friends and fellow content creators, Munted Muffin, reached out and told me that the BBR was hosting Season 2 of its D League. When I first heard about it, I was quite unsure if I wanted to sign up as I'd never played a Wi-Fi league before, but I couldn't pass up such a great opportunity. D League stands for developmental, so all of the coaches are up-and-coming creators, with the winner getting a spot in the next main season of the BBR. So today, I'm going to be breaking down the team the Chicago Grookeys drafted. I got the 9th overall pick, so a lot of the 19 and 18 point Pokemon got taken before it was even my turn. So I ended up going with a Pokemon I'm pretty comfortable with. Meowscarada is going to be joining the Chicago Grookeys for the first time ever, as it's always been drafted onto my other team, the Indianapolis Infernape. Meowscarada is a very fast breaker with 123 base speed and 110 attack, with powerful moves such as Flower Trick, which always crits, Knock Off to remove items, and U-turn to switch out on bad matchups. Meow even got buffed in the DLC with Triple Axle to help it beat opposing grass types. It can also support the team with Spikes and Toxic Spikes and cripple opposing walls with Trick. With my second pick, I grabbed a Pokemon I've been wanting to use for quite some time, but never got the chance to until now. I picked up Lattos. With 110 base speed and crazy versatility, this Pokemon is going to be a huge threat this season. Strong Draco Meteors and Psychics getting boosted by Soul Dew, as well as Calm Mind, hit very hard, and it gets great coverage in Ice Beam and Thunderbolt. It can keep itself healthy with Recover and even gain more bulk by copying typings with Reflectite. Overall, I think Latias will take some getting used to, but it will be an important member of this season. Fairy and Steel types are very limited in the Paldea Dex format, so for my third pick, I wanted to grab a good Steel type to support Latias, so I decided to go with Heatran. My boy got quite a few nerfs in Generation 9, losing things like Toxic and Roar. Heatran isn't going to let that stop it though, still getting powerful moves such as Magma Storm, Flash Cannon, and Earth Power, and some good support options in Stealth Rocks, Taunt, and Will-O-Wisp. At this point, I was missing a true physical breaker. Meowscarada is great, but it's missing some of that raw power that I'm looking for, and I figured the fairy type that I was looking to grab could wait one more round. I also didn't expect this Pokemon to stay on the board up until round 4, so I picked up Urshifu Rapid Strike. This Pokemon got some crazy buffs with Swords Dance to boost its attack even faster than the previous Bulk Up, and Trailblaze to boost its mediocre speed. One of the best ways to stop Urshifu is a Rocky Helmet Pokemon, but that's not even a great option anymore with the introduction of the Punching Gloves item, which makes punching moves like Surging Strikes not make contact and actually give them a 10% power boost. I'm very excited to use this powerful Pokemon to break my opponent's teams apart. As I previously said, good fairy types are quite uncommon for Paldea decks, so most of the top tier ones have already been taken up until this point. One of the better ones still available was Galarian Whistling. This is one of a short list of Pokemon to not lose Toxic in this generation, and it is also on a shorter list of Pokemon to keep Defog, which is going to be very important because up until this point, I have no form of hazard removal for my team. It gets both Haze and Clear Smog to eliminate stat changes on my opponent's Pokemon, as well as Will-O-Wisp to burn any physical attackers. It may not be the best fairy around, but it fits my team well. The BBR allows one Terra Captain and it can be any type, so I had to pick a good captain. I decided to make my captain Umbreon to allow it to shed its dark typing in favor of a better defensive typing like water or fairy. Umbreon is one of the best team support Pokemon around, even after losing Heal Bell in Generation 9. It gets huge wishes off of its base 90 HP to heal up other members of the team, or it can just run Moonlight to heal up itself. This is another Pokemon that didn't lose Toxic in this generation, which is such a great thing since Umbreon can stay on the field for many turns at a time. Baton Pass allows me to pass wishes more easily to my teammates as well as get out of bad matchups. It can even stop setup attempts with Roar and Taunt. At this point, I wanted a more reliable hazard setter as Heatran and Meowscarada don't always have the move slots for those moves. So I picked up Sandy Shocks as my 7th round pick. Sandy Shocks can let off powerful electric and ground type moves from its 121 special attack and switch out with Volt Switch. It gets both Spikes and Stealth Rocks as well as Light Screen and Reflect for even more team support. I wish that Signal Beam wasn't removed back in Generation 8 because Sandy Shocks would have definitely learned it and it would actually be able to hit grass types, but I got those covered with my next few picks. I was still quite worried about hazards on my side of the field, so I wanted to pick up a Rapid Spin user. Unfortunately, most of the top tier and even better low tier Rapid Spin users had been taken at this point, so I opted for Cryogonal. Cryogonal is a specially bulky support Pokemon with many of the aforementioned moves like Rapid Spin, Screens, Haze, and can keep itself healthy with Recover. It can even threaten water types with Freeze Dry, so even though it's probably not my best pickup, I think Cryogonal has earned itself a place on this team. My next pick was a Pokemon I've seen used to some great success in my league, the VDL, by many different coaches, and I thought it was a little undervalued here. Crocalor was my pick for 2 points, and even without it being a Terra Captain, I can see this Pokemon putting in some good work with its Unaware ability to ignore stat changes from other Pokemon. It gets good support to pair with Unaware as well, in Roar and Will-O-Wisp to threaten setup Pokemon and just generally scare physical attackers with the threat of a burn. Terra would have made this a huge threat, but I think Umbreon needed it more, and Crocalor will still get the job done nonetheless. For my 10th pick, I couldn't possibly pass up my favorite draft Pokemon ever, so I got Hisuian Zoroark. With its disguise ability and a few Pokemon to take advantage of it in Meowscarada, Latias, Heatran, and Umbreon, I'm excited to play some mind games with my opponents this season. With powerful Nasty Plot boosted attacks like Hyper Voice, Flamethrower, and its signature move Bitter Malice to lower my opponent's attack stat, it hits extremely hard. It also gets Swords Dance and great physical options in Poltergeist, Knockoff, and U-Turn to switch. Zoroark is also a great choice user, and it can disrupt my opponent's walls with Trick. And for my 11th and final pick of the BBR, I had 2 points remaining, and I didn't want those to go to waste. So I picked up one of the better Pokemon down in the 2-point tier in Squawkabilly. It gets 4 great abilities in Intimidate, Sheer Force, Guts, and Hustle, even though you'll never see me using Hustle because I don't want to miss. Guts boosted Facades hit like a truck, and Intimidate is a great ability to lower my opponent's attack stat and pairs very well with Parting Shot to lower them even more to get a threat like Urshifu in. So that is your Chicago Grookey's roster for Season 2 of the BBR D League. I will be sure to have all of the other coaches' YouTube channels linked in the description so you don't miss any of the content coming from the BBR. And if you enjoyed, please drop a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys all later. Peace.